Alrighty, all. Liz here on a beautiful Sunday morning. I'm just going to take you through some changes to the Volatility Master software. Share my screen. I'm going to bring up the settings so I can explain what's changed. And this first change is going to change the way the software places a stop loss on the trades. So first off, I'm going to run through exactly how it works now. If the software places a sell order, it's then going to place a take profit 1,000 points below the trade. So if it took out a sell order there, it's going to place a take profit 1,000 points below the trade. It's also going to place a stop loss 100 points above the top of the 5-minute range. This is because of this setting we have down here, where we've got the initial trade range set at 5 minutes. So it's going to place a trade when the market breaks above or below the 5-minute range. And it's going to place a stop loss 100 points on the other side of the range. Now for the stack trades, it's going to place the trade based off the 1-minute range breakout, but it's still placing the stop loss for that trade based off the 5-minute range. So that's currently how it works. Now we have these two new settings, the stop loss calculation time frame for the initial trades and the stop loss calculation time frame for the stack trades. And by having them both set at 5 minutes, this software is going to operate exactly as it currently does. So I'm going to go through that, and I'm going to run it on the 1 hour, simply so that we can see that, because I'm going to show you it with I'm going to run through with it set at the 5-minute. So it's going to base the stop loss off the 5-minute range, and then I'm going to back test the same time period on the 1 hour range, so you can see the difference in where it's placing the stop loss. So just simply so you can see the difference. While we're waiting for the correct time, I do want to mention, just don't take any real notice of the settings that I'm showing in this video, because some of them I've changed so that I could explain the differences easier. So anyway, so it's a little squished up being on the 1 hour time frame, but it's just broken. So the thick red line and the thick blue line are indicating the top and bottom of the 5-minute range. And it's just broken below the 5-minute range. So it's placed a sell order, and it's placed a take profit 1,000 points below the trade. So if we measure that, see that it's 1,000 points, and it's also placed the stop loss. It'll be 100 points above the top of the 5-minute range, which is that red line. So just 100 points above, just there. So that's how the software is currently operating. And now I will just back test that same time period, but we'll change the stop loss. We'll change the stop loss calculation time frame to 1 hour. And we'll back test the same time. So it's not actually displaying the 1 hour range, but the 1 hour range would be the top of this candle here, and the bottom of the 1 hour range would be here. So this time, when it takes out a trade, when it breaks below the 5-minute range, it's actually going to place a stop loss 100 points above the 1 hour range. Now, by no means is that what I'm suggesting you do, but it's just giving us more options. As you can see, the take profit is still 100 points below the trade. And the stop loss is now right up here above the 1 hour range instead of being right down here. So that just explains the difference there nicely. Now, where I see all of these two new settings being an advantage is that now instead of always every trade being locked into a stop loss based off the initial trade range, now you can vary that. So you could have a separate stop loss range. You know, the initial trade might be based off the 1 minute range. Let me stop this and explain it. As the settings are at the moment, the initial trade is based off the 5 minute range, and the stop loss is going to be off the 5 minute range on the current settings, not with these new ones. And the stack trades range is going to be based off the 1 minute breakout, but the stop loss is still going to be on the 5 minute range. So now we could have the initial trade stop loss could be based off the 5 minute range, and the stack trade stop loss could be based off the 1 minute range. So it gives us an option to be different there. You can also have, you know, the initial trade based off the 5 minute range, but you want to give the market more moving room, more room to retrace and everything, and also that sort of comes more into the higher the time frames you go, the longer the trades take to play out. So it gives you more time to see what's going on, to make evaluations and changes if you want. So you might want to have the initial trade still based off a 5 minute breakout, but with a 15-minute range stop loss setting. It just gives you more options to tailor this to suit how you personally like to trade, really. Alrighty, so that's that setting. There's one more setting I've added, and that is the close all for this pair. Close all this pair, and you'll put in a time setting there. Alrighty, so what's going to happen is I've got the software set to start, as you can see, at 300 minutes after market open, and to stop looking for new trades at 1180 minutes. All right, let's say, and now if you set a time for the close all, if I set this to 600, now any trades that are open 600 minutes, any trades that are open on this particular pair that are opened at 600 minutes after the market opens are going to be closed. All right. Why is this setting useful? One, it can give us a backup to make sure we exit any trades prior to any volatile events. Because one way you can lose money here is if you have a trade open and you forget that there is a red folded news event looming, and you leave that trade open, the news event opens, it goes against you, and you end up taking a big loss. That's something that you've got to be careful with any type of trading. So it's a backup to make sure you're out of any trades prior to a news event occurring. The other time that I will be looking at using this setting is to exit any trades prior to the end of trading every day. Let me bring up a chart and explain this to you. Okay, so I'm using pound USD because I'm trading that based off the 15-minute breakout. Let me just stop and start that again. All right, it's a bit hard to explain, but this vertical line here is the start of the new day's trading. Now, it doesn't really show this. This is because we have the spread set at 15. But in actual usage, the spread for this first, the first 15 minutes of the open, and then right through to the first hour of the open, the spreads increase a lot. So instead of just having a spread, like on pound US, the spread's usually only, 2 to 5 pips with this broker. The spread for the first 5 candles can often be over 100. So a much, much huger spread. So even though, we might have a trade, we might have a buy order in play here, and we might have a stop loss here, but the market might open, and because of the spread only, not market movement, the bottom of this first candle might be right down here. That will mean not only will you hit this stop loss, you could potentially lose more than that stop loss is set at, because the market is essentially opening right down here. And that's not because of gappage in the market. It's not because of slippage. It's simply because the spread is much, much larger at the very start of the day. So what that means is if you have a trade open, particularly if the stop loss is within 50 pips of where the market closes, there is a very, very good chance that simply because of spread, it's going to hit that stop loss when the market opens for the next day, even if the market, even though once the spread reduces, you're back to where the market was and the market continues to go up. That initial 1 or 2 candles, simply because of spread, is going to push the bottom of the candle down past the stop loss. So the chances of this trade hitting a stop loss for no real good reason is much greater, just because of the start of the day and the spread. So there's a good chance that no matter what the market actually does, this trade's going to hit your stop loss. So even if you close it out here at a loss, it's still, reducing the, it's only a small loss. Whereas if you let that first candle kick in, there's a good chance that you'll take at least a full stop loss. All right, so it's not a setting you have to use, but it's another one that's there, which I am probably going to be using on pound USD, but not necessarily on the others, because I'm trading the pound USD based off the 15-minute range breakout. So I'm trading a higher time frame. The trades do take longer to play out. So there is a reasonable chance that sometimes I will have a trade open that will carry into the next day. It doesn't always happen, but it does happen on pound USD because I'm trading the 15-minute range breakout. On the other pairs, I'm trading the 5-minute range breakout or the 1-minute range breakout. And because of the lower time frame, the trades play out quicker. And it is extremely rare for any of those lower time frame trades to carry over into the next day anyway. So not necessarily anything you have to be concerned about. All right, that's it, guys. That's the 2 new settings. And I guess the new version of the software will be called version 3.2, just so you know where we're up to. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Talk to you later.